Hi, my name is Mike and welcome to my vlog about football in general and Burnley FC in particular, a vlog that this week saw 4 astronauts go the furthest distance that any humans have ever been from this planet, and thought to myself, maybe that's the best place to watch a game from Turf Moor this season. Now, I know this is going to sound like first world problems, but after Clarence lose to Brighton 2-0 on Saturday, I was wondering what on earth I was going to say in this vlog, because we've said it all before, it was completely a predictable game, it was predictable method of losing, all the usual stuff happened. I have a particularly silly sense of humour. I did actually consider doing a thing where I spent as much time as possible talking about the minutiae of my day running up to the entire game. You know, going into incredibly excessive detail, and then just ending it with Brighton 1-2-0, the game was shit on the Clarets. Now, I found that particularly a funny idea. I reckon I could have got about 7 minutes out of it, but it's a little bit unfair on you. I know this is self-indulgent bullshit anyway, this vlog, and I've said, you know, audience of one and all that kind of thing, and it's a particularly funny gag in my head. It's not particularly fair on you guys who actually watch it, and you probably would have turned off way before I get to the punchline. And even sort of in comedy, that's sometimes funny. Pissing off your audience is funny. But anyway, I wasn't going to do that. So I'm going to talk about the game slightly, probably spend about 90 seconds over it. I've said previously that Parker sends players out to die. This week it was Bashir Humphreys, who has played centre-back for us, who has played left-back for us, and he puts him right-back instead of Kyle Walker. Because at this point Parker insists on making sure that his players are not put in a position to succeed. Humphreys was repeatedly roasted by Minte as a good player. How many times did Brighton try that? Was it... I genuinely think it must have been 10. Genuinely, 10 times they tried that move, pass the ball past the fullback, low cross, pull back to the penalty spot, and eventually it worked. Like I say, I think they must have tried it 10 times before scoring the opener from a man who has not scored for 16 months. Because, of course, this is the game where he gets one. What else? Oh, yeah, we had 2 ruled off for offside. Now, weirdly enough, at the time, I thought they were clearly offside. And I was surprised to see on the replays just how close they were. But I thought they were offside at the time. And I know I've gone on about VAR and all that kind of stuff. The linesman put his flag up both times. It was the correct decision. They were confirmed by VAR. I have no problem with that. I'm not complaining about that. Ball goes in. Look at the linesman. Flag is up. No goal. Happy with that. The fact that they were incredibly close and marginal and all that kind of stuff, irrelevant. Absolutely irrelevant. The linesman got it right. No problem at all. And then we don't do much. Parker substitutes fullbacks for 2 fullbacks. 1-0 down. You're in a relegation battle, allegedly, and you're swapping out fullbacks. Mike Trezor comes on, plays largely centrally as a defensive holding midfielder. Players sent out to die. That is exactly what's happened. Oh, Broja appearing on the right wing. Because it's some kind of performance art at this point. The funny thing is, the first sub was Brun Larsen, and then he brings on Kyle Walker at right back. That's kind of weird, because if you remember at the start of the season, those two looked pretty good on our right-hand side. They were working together, they looked defensively solid. That was what we've not been all game or for the last few months. But, like I say, players sent out to fail. Bashir Humphreys, I have so much sympathy for him. I think the ground, or the people in the ground, and trust me, there weren't a lot of people in the ground, have a lot of sympathy for Humphreys, because he got no help whatsoever. He's out of position. He gets no help from Edwards. He gets no help from Ugo Chukwu. And like I say, earlier in the season, that right-hand side was one of the few bits that were actually working, and working well. But can't have that. Can't have a right back playing right back. Can't have a right winger playing right wing, can we? And then, the last minute, the bloke who hasn't scored for 16 months get his second in the same match. Because of course he fucking does. I spoke about how many empty seats were in the crowd, which was, I know lots of people left at half time. I know the weather was crap. I know the Grand National was on. But, the cricket field, and I don't particularly like the cricket field because they've got this overinflated opinion of themselves and how much noise and atmosphere they make. But that was kind of 3/4 empty most of the game. And they were making noise. And interestingly, they were singing about players who left a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years ago, just to entertain themselves. I'm not going to get into the fact there is no connection with the players on the pitch, and there's no connection for the players with the fans and all that kind of stuff. I think, I can't be bothered, like everyone else. And the other is that I'll probably save that for the end of the year review. But the fact that the fans in the cricket field they're not singing to support the team, they're just singing to entertain themselves. And I don't blame them for that. They're singing about Anna Sarori, and they're singing about Ashley Barnes. Who were the other players? I can't remember. Anyway, they were singing, for players who left a while ago and what Burnley used to be and all that kind of thing, instead of this just apathetic rubbish. And then at the final whistle, everyone who's left in the stadium leaves. Remember, there was the thing at the start of the year about the gate coming in and, oh my God, there's going to be a huge crush and blah, 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 because we've got to turn right instead of left out the long side, yada, yada, yada. Well, with everyone leaving early this season, solve that problem. You people just don't have enough faith, to be honest, that the problem just solves itself. Can't have a crush at full time if everybody's already left. But as for the experience in the stands at the end, there is a great post put out on social media a few years ago by someone called Acting the Foolaman. And it says, I think a lot of the people think that the point of sports is that your team will win and then you'll be happy. That is not the point of sports. The point of sports is to be sad in a group. And that sums up the experience of following Burnley this year. Saturday was one of those days. It was bitterly cold. As the game kicked off, the rain started coming down. The wind was blowing it into the upper tier of the long side where I sit. Empty seats at the start. Brighton scored near half-time. Many, many empty seats for the second half. And I can't blame people. They turned up. They saw the same old boring shit. And they decided they had better things to do with their afternoon. I mean, I know the last one I was very, very angry. The last vlog I was very, very angry. I wasn't angry at the team or the manager because I said there was no point. I was angry at the fans who were still defending it. But I passed through any remaining frustration and anger. I passed through even apathy. After about 75 to 80 minutes, I was just openly laughing at what was going on the pitch in that sort of dark trench humour kind of way. Jacob Brun-Larsen comes on and starts putting crosses into no man's land. He's been here a year and the players still don't know where each other are going to be. 1-0 down at home and the manager's swapping both fullbacks despite having two strikers on the bench. And then he does put a striker on and has him play right wing. And, genuinely, there was a bit, and it was, like I say, I openly laughed when I saw this. We had an attacking corner. Brighton had 11 players, all 11 players, in their penalty box to defend it. And we have 5 of our outfielders standing outside the 18-yard box at an attacking corner when you're 1-0 down. And I'm watching this, and I'm just giggling. I'm giggling in that black, deep, dark humour kind of way. Because that's where we are. Because actually, about 85 minutes in, a thought occurred to me. And I got out my phone, and I opened up the calculator. Did this during the game, because, hey, there's fuck all else to do during the game, is there? Because Scott Parker has broke a 140-year-old club record 12 consecutive home matches without a win. My season ticket in the Longside Upper cost me £520 for this season. That's just under £27.50 a game. We've had 16 home games, so I've paid £438 to watch the Clarets at home this year. And with 2 home wins all season, it has cost me £219 per home win. I mean, I know it's fun with numbers. The club, chuck in the draws and losses for free. But so far, £219 per home win. And the funny thing is, right? Oh yeah, and I went further. Each point at home has cost £40. Each goal has cost £29. And the daft thing is, myself, the people who sit around me, have all renewed our season tickets. What do you say? What can you say? What do you do? What does that say about me? What does that say about fandom in general? £219 per home win. And I get the draws and losses for free. Now I know it's fun with numbers. And I know, it's just a way of looking at it. And it's just the dark humour of the whole thing. I wouldn't have thought of it in a different way if I wasn't in that kind of dark humour mode at the end of the game. £219 per home win. And I renewed my season ticket. And there we are, really. There's nothing really in this vlog, like there was nothing on the pitch. I'm away now for the next 2 home games, so I missed the City game. Is it Villa? Yeah, it's Villa. I missed that one. I'm back for Wolves, and I think by that point we may well be bottom. And one thing I will say that pisses me off, that makes me angry, is that we are likely to finish bottom behind a team that had 3 points when the calendar changed into 2026, and we're still going to finish behind them. And if that is not an indictment of this manager, I don't know what is. In the meantime, I'm going to have a break. I hope you take care over the next few weeks. I will see you hopefully after the Wolves game. Maybe I do something before, and maybe something occurs to me, but I am on holiday. I'm having a break, so I'm not planning on it. But I'm planning on writing some stuff. That'd be interesting. But I will be watching the matches from afar. So maybe I do something that is a little bit rough and ready, but what the hell. I really, really need a break from this team. And unfortunately, it's not involving travelling off the planet and around the moon. Oh well. Up the Clarets.